Welcome back to the Guest List podcast. We took a small break last month, but we are so happy to be back with you and starting to wrap up our very first season. For those of you who are just joining us, my name is Sarah.
And I'm Allie. Since it's my birthday month, I got to choose this month's topic, and I chose one of my favorite genres of music, pop punk.
I always like to joke that my knowledge of pop punk pretty much starts and ends at early 5 seconds of summer. But as we were discussing this episode, I surprised myself with how much I actually knew, but this is definitely Allie's forte.
Let's get into it. I like to joke that we have a Jordan Fisher shout out every month, but it seems like lately we've been having a Taylor Swift shout out every single month. So the first band we want to talk about is Paramore, and we love Paramore, and they are currently on the Eras tour with Taylor Swift.
They are.
I am so jealous when I saw that they were announced. The fact that it's not anywhere close to us is driving me insane.
No, it's all like the Europe leg.
I have my passport. Like, I want to go, but...
Let's go. We're jetting off.
Yes. Sorry, Luke Hemmings. I'm going to go see Paramore instead.
Oh my god. You know, I feel like since the Eras Tour kicked off last year, it's been kind of the year of the Eras Tour. And now that we're kind of past that 1 year mark of the tour, it's going to still be a very heavily discussed topic throughout entertainment. Like, this is probably, other than Love on Tour, because Harry Styles shout out, other than Love on Tour, and obviously now it's like even past, like, stadiums all, like, it's just insane.
Yeah, I've been seeing it all over again because if you guys don't know, I'm originally from Massachusetts, and a year ago yesterday, or it might have been 2 days ago, this week, like the last few days have been a year since the Gillette shows, and if you know, you know, that was the biggest rain show to ever rain show. So, and everyone I know from my hometown is posting about it. Like, oh my god, I can't believe it's been a year. And then I have friends that are either trying to go to Europe or are going to Europe, and I'm like, I remember when the new dates got announced, you and me tried to get Miami tickets. We were like, let's go to Miami.
I'm still on the hunt. So if anybody anywhere has Eras Tour tickets that they're selling for close to face value in the US, let a girlie know.
When is Miami?
Is that... She's back in the fall, so I think it's October, November?
You're right. Okay. Because I was like, if anything's in July, Allie's out. Which
yeah,
we will
no,
get
unfortunately, she's still over in Europe in July, I think.
Yeah. Because we will get into what I'm doing in July because multiple involved can bring it to this category.
Definitely a topic.
So we'll get into that later.
For sure. But
yeah,
obviously,
I think it's so crazy.
Yeah, obviously Paramore being on the tour, I'm still waiting for them to be on stage together to play Castles Crumbling from the Speak Now Taylor's version of Vault.
Why did I forget about that? How did I forget about that? I think I was so focused on the other pop punk collab she did on that album that I keep forgetting that it exists.
Yeah. You can talk about that too.
Again, we will also get into that. Another band that we'll be talking about a lot today. One of my personal favorites, Fall Out Boy.
Ooh.
Oh my god. Me, Jared, and Sarah all listened to Speak Now Taylor's version right when it came out together.
We did.
I
we
couldn't do it in order. I started doing it in order. It was so cute.
It was so special.
But I had to stop listening to it in order. I'm like, I've already heard all of these songs. I need to hear the Fall Out Boy song first. I can't do this. I literally texted them. I'm like, I'm out of order from you guys. I needed to hear the Fall Out Boy song. I can't.
Obviously, we know where Allie's priorities lie.
Yeah. Because I have a very long history with Fall Out Boy, which
we'll get.
Oh my gosh, I love Fall Out Boy so much. We'll get into that later. But I was just so excited. And one of my best friends, Morgan, her top two favorite artists are Taylor Swift and Fall Out Boy. So I was texting her, I'm like, are you okay right now? She's like, you already know the answer to that. No.
Oh my goodness.
It was magical.
Some really great collabs on there. So when that does happen, when she does bring Paramore out to do Castles Crumbling on stage, I will crumble. Me personally, I will crumble. So
and the Setlist group chat will also explode.
Yes, it will.
The group chat of the three of us will go insane.
Oh my gosh. But speaking of pop punk bands on tour,
oh my gosh,
Allie told me about this one, and I was not expecting it.
I cannot wait for this tour. Like, I'm actually starting to tear up thinking about it. One of my favorite bands of all time is Green Day. Obviously, they have their new album. They have Stream Saviors. But it is also the 30th anniversary of Dookie and the 20th anniversary of American Idiot. So they are playing Dookie in full, American Idiot in full, and more. And when tickets went on sale, I'm pretty sure it was before I got my new job. Well, it's not really new anymore, but it was before I got my new job. So I couldn't afford them at the time. So I didn't think I was getting them. I was like, oh, maybe my dad will get them for me because they're like a special band with me and my dad. I was staying at my best friend's house. She's like, do you want to open our Christmas presents early? I opened the card. Are you free August 9th? And it's a picture of a Green Day ticket. I started crying.
Aww.
Apparently she like told everyone because she was so excited. Shout out Haley, I love you so much. I love Green Day so much. And bringing it back to another Fall Out Boy shout out, I was supposed to see Fall Out Boy, Green Day, and Weezer all on the same tour. When Green Day toured for their album Revolution Radio, I didn't go to the tour because my dad didn't know that I liked Green Day. Another 5-Sauce shout out. 5-Sauce actually got me into Green Day. Like, I'd heard them before, but their cover of American Idiot got me back in, like, actually into Green Day.
Yeah.
But my dad didn't know I was a fan, so my dad was like, Allie, I would have wanted to go. So when the Hella Mega Tour got announced, my dad and I got it with the first pre-sale, all set. Then the global pandemic that we all know. I had these tickets, I got them in September of 2019. The show didn't happen until August of 2021. And the day before the show, I'm at like my yearly family trip up in Maine, and I look down at my phone. Due to someone on the team getting COVID, Fall Out Boy will not be performing in New York or Boston.
Oh, no.
I started crying. I was yelling at everyone. I was so mad. It was not a good time. But I was like, okay, you could have gotten, well, I think it was only if you got it through the Fall Out Boy pre-sale that you could get your money back. But I was like, I still really want to see Green Day. So my dad and I still went. It was so special.
Yeah.
Because our favorite song that got us like liking them together was Still Breathing. And we both like almost started like tearing up. And I'm trying to get my dad to go to the New York show with me because I surprised my mom with tickets to see New Kids on the Block in August and at Jones Beach.
Oh,
and
wow.
So Queens is not that far from Long Island.
Very true.
So I'm like, Dad, come with me, and then the next day we can go to Citi Field to see Green Day because the Boston show is sold out. I mean, obviously there's resale, but
yeah. Why? I mean, why not if there's standard admission?
Exactly. Like, Dad, let's go. Like, you really want to go.
Yeah. I love that you guys have Green Day in common. When I was younger, I remember my dad also had the American Idiot CD, and I was really, really young, as a lot of you guys know. That wasn't my genre of music at the time. I was
because I was one when that album came out.
Wow. I was quite the teeny bopper, not quite into the Green Day of it all, but I do remember him playing that CD. And is that the album that Wake Me Up When September Ends is on, or is that a different Green Day song? Okay, yeah, so that song definitely... That
album is stacked.
Definitely resonates with me, so I love that you and your dad have Green Day in common too.
Yeah, I love... It's one of our favorite bands to like go see together. And honestly, I got into pop punk like more, like he likes the genre, but ever since I became friends with Haley, I've gotten way more into it. And sometimes I play bands for him. He's like, this is like too hard for even me. Like, what is happening right now? But Green Day is one of the ones that we like love together. I wanted to get him another band we will talk about later. I wanted to get him Blink tickets last year because they were in Boston on his birthday, but tickets were crazy. Which I was honestly shocked because it was also the same day as Taylor, and everyone was having the issue of, do I go to Taylor or do I go to Blink? Like one of my best friends, Liv, she went to Blink in a Taylor shirt because she had gone to the other date. So she was like, okay, I've gone to the other dates, but because we didn't know that if there would be another tour, which we will get into later. But yeah, I'm so excited.
Yeah,
and Dad, please, can we please go together, please?
I love it.
Happy late birthday, Dad. Love you.
Aw, happy birthday, Mr. McCutcheon.
It was his birthday yesterday.
Aw.
At the time of us filming this.
Oh, I love that. Happy birthday. So you also had a birthday recently, Allie.
Yes, I did.
You did. Big 21. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
But you are going somewhere.
I think we briefly mentioned this. I forget what episode it was, but we briefly mentioned this. But I'm going to Vegas.
Not just
I've
for her
been trying
21st
to go to
birthday.
this festival. I've been wanting to go to this festival since it was announced. Like, honestly, last year's lineup is more my. Well, I still love
Or
all
when
the
we
bands
were
going
young
this
fest,
year.
right?
When we were young fest. Last year they had Green Day, 5 Seconds of Summer, Blink-182. The year before they had Paramore. Yeah, so everyone knows about this, and I'm so excited. I'm going with Haley, of course, and our other friend Haley will also be there, and my friend Morgan
She
we were
went
talking about
last year.
previously will also be there. Yes, she did.
She
It
went
was her
last
first
year
time crowd surfing. I remember this.
Oh
And then
my
she
God.
witnessed my first time crowd surfing, which you all saw on YouTube. So
Was that at State Champs?
yes, it was, which we will definitely talk about them. Well, we'll talk about them right now because State Champs will be there. And Haley and I are also very worried because there are so many bands that we like in this lineup. We're like, how are we going to choose? Because there's only so many stages. We're like, if there's like conflicting times, the theme of this year's, which is honestly really cool, the only people that aren't going to the theme is Fall Out Boy, which they're one of the headliners. So of course I'm very excited. Every band is doing like their most popular or like their first, like they're all doing an album in full. I'm assuming they're adding a few songs in because when the main posted about it, it was like their album and then more.
Probably some of their greatest hits.
Yes. But Fall Out Boy did not do an album, so I assume it's just gonna be all greatest hits. So like they could have put their greatest hits album. That would have been kind of funny. But
you know who is doing a greatest hits album? Avril Lavigne.
Yes, she is.
And she's doing a tour, I think, too, coming up, right?
Yes, she is.
Oh my God.
Which I will also be attending. I'm so excited.
No. Did you know?
Yeah.
Did you know that Avril wrote? I think it was "Breakaway" for Kelly Clarkson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
she has a version of it on one
I
of her
saw a
albums.
clip from the Kelly Clarkson show the other day where she was talking about that, and I think originally, if I'm remembering correctly, Kelly loved the song and like recorded it, but I think it was either her or her label that were like, I don't think it's the right fit for the album, and then it ended up being the title track.
That's so funny. But yeah,
isn't that wild?
Going back to, it's so crazy. But going back to the State Champs thing, we were like,
yes.
We've heard the Finer Things in full 3 times now. Do we need to hear it again? I'm like, yes. We love State Champs. I will be at their set. I don't care if I have to leave you. But I know our other Haley will be there because her brother's her brother's gonna be there too, and that's like his favorite band and pretty much the only reason. Yes, Jason's gonna be the only one that's not 21, and we're not even thinking about it like, oh, like for the obvious reasons, but they always do like sideshows, and most of them you have to be 21 to get in, and I'm like, oh no.
Oh my god.
Because it's like, I think it's like a couple weeks before his birthday. I'm like, crap. Because a lot of the bands, they do like these sideshows at like the club venues, and if you know me, that's definitely very much my scene. I honestly forgot I was gonna be 21 because we got the tickets months ago, and I was like, Haley, all of these things say 21. She's like, Allie, your birthday's in May. The festival's in October. I'm like, oh, right.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But I'm so excited. So Fall Out Boy, I've seen them before. Most of the bands going, I've already seen. Or that I'm seeing between when we got the tickets and when the festival is. But it's okay. I have never seen My Chemical Romance.
Oh my god.
And yes, or Sleeping with Sirens. So they're two of the bands I'm most excited for because I have never seen them.
That's really exciting.
If you know me at all, state champs in the main are always, like, every time they tour, I'll be there. Me and our friend Haley, like, it's almost like a weekly thing where we just text each other, we miss state champs, because we spent like a whole weekend with them. And it's just, I miss them so much. Like, if you saw the vlog from that, if you haven't, if you're on YouTube, just click below and go find it. If you are not on, if you're on Spotify, go to our YouTube, please, because I'm very proud of that video. But that's besides the point. They're just, like, so fun. And, like, even if I've already heard that album full so many times, it's fine. But yeah, I'm very excited. Neck Deep is gonna be there. Pierce the Veil is gonna be there, which we will definitely be talking about later when we bring up a tour that is happening in July. And they're literally back to back. Like, I fly in.
If you want.
Okay. So I don't know if he may be doing a genre switch, but as of his first album, if anyone knows Jaden, he is very much influenced. He's like, he works with Travis Barker of Blink-182 all the time. Jaden is another pop punk artist that we love, but I was talking to Gunner when he was in New York for a few days last month, and he was like,
Shout out Gunner.
Shout out Gunner. He was like, his new album is definitely more my speed. It's like less punk than the other one because he's already heard the new album, and I'm so jealous.
Lucky.
I am following most of the Jaden's upcoming tour, and I fly home or back to New York, and then I go to Blink-182 and Pierce the Veil the next day, and then I have a few days off, and then I go see Blink-182 and Pierce the Veil again.
That's wild.
So I'll be gone for
be
most of the month of July. I'm so excited. Because I've not been.
I gotta figure out where I'm going, but it'll likely be New York. So.
Yay! I'm so excited. And if you watched when Sarah had the podcast originally, when it was still under Sarah's Setlist, if you saw the episode with our bestie Hannah Glass, I am finally meeting Hannah Glass in person. So there will be lots of content from that. We are so excited. I miss my girl so much. I'm Hannah. Hi, baby. Excited. I'm so excited. Like, she is another person who understands my pop punk obsessions, and I just love her so much because we literally have the same music taste. It's like crazy. I love her so much. So shout out Hannah, we love you. But yeah,
adore
so
that girl so
crazy.
Much, and she is also killing it. Let me just shout her out for a second. She's doing the absolute most. And I
want to be Hannah Glass when I grow up, and we're only a few years apart.
I want to be Hannah Glass when I grow up. Hello?
And yeah.
So yeah, shout out Hannah. You're killing it,
if anyone
girl.
is going to any of the stops on the Jaden tour, DM us and we can see if we're going to any of the same shows, because I want to see everyone, because I've already been getting DMs from people being like, oh, are you going to this show? I'm like, see you there. So that will be very exciting. July's going to be crazy. And then,
speaking of new music with his new album, with Jaden's new album, who else is back in the studio? I feel like we talked about this recently.
Machine Gun Kelly is back in the studio with Youngblood and Mod Sun at the same time. Like, MGK has multiple songs with Youngblood, and him and Mod Sun also have recorded together before. But the three of them together, people are going to have to check on me. Like, I don't think I can handle this, because I love Machine Gun Kelly. I actually went to his last tour mainly for Avril Lavigne, which we will get into in a second.
Right.
But
I watched that show back when I used to work at MSG. That was
such a fun night, even though I did sprain my ankle because I was jumping and I landed on my ankle. So I ended up in a New Jersey hospital after the MGK show.
No way.
Yes, and Mod-Sun is also
I had
one
a
of my
great
favorites.
experience working that show. I got
that
to
was
see
such a fun
Allie.
One.
But
yes,
also
I had pink hair.
You did. Oh my gosh, that's right. You did have pink hair. Wow, what a time. That was
so fun.
that had to have been, was that just last summer?
2022. It was 2 years ago.
Okay. I was like, I don't remember it being that like recent. So this was 2 summers ago.
Yeah.
Which was super fun. I really had a great time at that show. I wasn't expecting.
That was so good. It was so good.
He's really great live. Like obviously, I do enjoy some of his music, but since I'm not like pop punk, like I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did, and I really did. It was probably one of my favorite shows that I worked there, which is really cool.
Yeah. And speaking of Jaden, he came on stage. That was the first time I ever got to see him. So bringing it back to him, and I got to talk to Jaden after the show last.
At the MGK show?
Yeah.
I was there the whole time.
Yeah.
Why do I not remember this?
If you guys don't know, Jaden's best friend passed away 2 summers ago, and it was right before this show. So the year before, Jaden went on tour with MGK, and his best friend Cooper like went on the tour with him, and so MGK knew him, and like Jaden and a bunch of his friends went to the MGK show, and then during one of the songs, MGK brought him on stage, and everyone was crying. And I got to talk to Jaden about this like last year. I went to his New Jersey show, and he was like, it's so special that you got to see that, because that was just such a special thing that he let me do, and it was just so amazing. And another person who also came on stage, we brought up Blink-182 before, Travis Barker's son Landon also came on stage because him and MGK have a song together.
Yeah,
and Modson was also in the audience. Speaking of Modson, Modson was also in the audience. So where my seats were, I was like right where I was in like the lower bowl, right next to where all of his like celebrity friends were there, and I was freaking out. I'm like, Modson is right there. So the reason I found out about Modson was, I've mentioned this many times, that Tyler Posey is one of my favorite people ever. He's another, if you don't know, most of you know him as an actor, but he's also a very talented pop punk artist. And he went on tour with Modson, and also a band called Girlfriends, who I am also seeing open for Avril on her Greatest Hits tour. But yeah, I found out who Mod was through Tyler Posey, because I obviously love Tyler Posey, and I wanted to see him, even though he was just an opener. I didn't know anyone in New York at the time. I just bought one ticket. I was like, I'm seeing Tyler. Luckily, I like met some friends, and they were huge Teen Wolf fans, and they like went with me. But that was one of my first concerts, like after moving to New York, and it was just so special. And now I've seen Mod multiple times. Like my spring break last year was following him around like 3 dates of his tour, and he's just so talented, and he's just so like humble and the most like grateful person ever. And he's like best friends with MGK, and they both did the like genre switch from starting out as mainly rap and transitioning into more of a pop punk sound, and it's just so good. And the first time I finally got to meet him was when he went on tour with Black Bear, which I'm so mad. They have a song together and they didn't perform it. I was so mad.
They didn't perform it and they were on tour together. What the heck?
I know. And that
Taylor,
was a show
don't do that to us with Paramore. You better perform Castles Crumbling.
I'll be so mad. But it was so special because I got to walk to the concert. Because if anyone knows, I go to school in New York City, and I can walk to Pier 17, and I walked to the show. It was just so fun, and I love doing that. I also did that for a few other pop punk artists. I love seeing pop punk shows at Pier 17. Speaking of that,
it's a cool venue,
another huge pop punk event of the year is Sad Summer Fest, which is where a bunch of pop punk artists get together and perform together. And it's kind of funny because a lot of the ones that I'm excited to see, I'm going to the Pier 17 show, so if everyone's going,
hit her up, let her know.
Yes, please do. The Main and Mayday Parade are both performing, and they're also going to be at When We Were Young. I know there are more artists that are going to both, but
those are the two for you?
And I worked Megan Thee Stallion last night, and I didn't get home until super late, so I am so tired.
I didn't even realize that she was like here.
Yeah, Steph and I ordered McDonald's at 4 a.m. So
wow.
I'm so exhausted, but Yeah, she was there, and where I was placed, I didn't get to see any of the show. So people were exiting. They're like, Cardi B just came on stage. I'm like,
hello.
because I couldn't even where I was put. I couldn't even hear the show. So I was like, what? No one else is gonna know what this means. They put me on the terrace, so I couldn't see or hear anything. So
if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that was fun. But I'm very excited. I'm very excited. Sad Summer Fest is one of my favorite things of the year. Last year I actually worked it, which was very odd. I went to it 2 years ago, and that lineup will never be beat. That was iconic. And last year was still a really good lineup. But if you know me, I love the main, and my favorite member of the main is the drummer.
Surprise, surprise.
Shocker if you know me at all. And my supervisor came up to me and was like, oh, we need you to like handle the merch lines. One of the drummers like showed up and is like meeting people at the merch table. It wasn't the normal merch table, it was the main merch table, and Pat was there. I was like, and he's met me before, so he just kept looking at me. And at this venue I had to wear a bright neon shirt. I was just standing there. I'm like, because obviously if you know you're working, you can't just like walk up to the artist. But I was very professional. You'll be very proud of me. But every single member of the band, they just kept doing like shifts, and I was just so overwhelmed. I'm like, I love you guys so much. Aww. And I'm just like,
that's awesome, Else. I
love them. But it was so different getting to like work it versus like attending it as a fan. But it was so cool because the venue that I worked at the time, it's like on the water, and it was, shout out Leader Bank Pavilion. I love you guys. And it was just so fun. But it was also weird because if you know, pop punk is a huge like hit crowd, and last year
there's a scene.
Yes. I know the lingo, guys. I'm so proud of you. Last year they made the decision to do it at seated amphitheaters, so it was very different because some amphitheaters have pits, but the one I worked at, there was no pit, and it was just very odd. It was very, very odd, and it didn't sell as well. But
so what did they do? Did they go to the lawn? Like what?
No, there just wasn't like a pit. It was so odd.
It
was so odd. But yeah, because before I started getting into like doing the pits, Haley was like scared for me. She's like, I don't know if you can do this, because she had way more experience like for years before me. But Allie goes a little crazy. My parents get scared of me when they see videos. They're like,
just a little bit.
I may have dove off the stage, if you remember from the State Champs anniversary shows, and I may have sprained my ankle doing that.
I think that's in the vlog, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I crowd surfed for the first time because if you know my favorite song by them, I talked about this in I think it was the Halloween. No, it wasn't in the Halloween episode. It was my Get Ready With Me on TikTok for the Halloween episodes, because we filmed the Halloween episode the same day I saw State Champs on Halloween.
Right.
So I talked about how Everybody But You is my favorite song of theirs because Tyler Posey was in the music video. Tyler Posey introduced me to them. And every time I hear that song, and the anniversary shows, they ended with Everybody But You every single time.
Got you.
But they changed up the set list. So I didn't know that it was going to be the closer every single night. So the second night, I'm like, someone get me in the air right now. Because I'd never crowd surfed before, but I'm like, crowd surfing with a no barricade, because if there's no barricade, you can just jump on the stage.
Yeah.
And then you dive off, and it's just so fun. It was so great.
I'm so glad that you had that experience.
Thank you. Yeah, because if you guys kept up with us in December, I went to 7 concerts in 7 days. 3 of those were State Champs. 2 of those were the main. So bringing up them again. And
girl, I still don't know how you did it.
That was insane, because it was like New York, New Jersey, back to New York, Pennsylvania, back to New York. Then for the State Champs show, the last State Champs show, I went home, took off my makeup, showered, put my makeup back on, got on a bus, went to DC to see Gunner and the guys.
There was one other show you wanted to talk about, I think, right? Because we were talking about seeing MGK and Avril at the venue that I used to work at and the one that you now work at. And
So
you went to a show versus working it recently, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I did. So a lot of the shows that have come recently, I'm like, I'll just work it because I'll save the money for shows that I'd rather. But before I even got hired, I honestly think it was like the week of my interview or something. It was right around the same time.
It was very close.
Yeah. Haley was like, I want to get like good seats, but the prices were kind of insane. I'm like, if they're under 100, count me in. She's like, okay, I'm not paying this. We're getting the top, which still great because our section was right next to the Harry Styles banner, so we did a photo with the Harry Styles banner. But yes, we saw Fall Out Boy on there. I've seen them like. I'll talk about the first part of the tour. So it's so much for Tour Dust, but it was we call it Tour Dust because it's like with a 2, because they did a part 2. The first part. So, I'm actually gonna go on a little tangent, but it will get back to this. So,
okay.
As I mentioned before, I didn't get to see Fall Out Boy at Fenway when they were supposed to tour with Green Day. So they announced So Much for Tour Dust, the first like leg of it, and I texted my family. I'm like, hey Dad, my birthday's soon. If you guys are looking for an early birthday present. And my brother works at Fenway, so he gets like an early pre-sale. And all of a sudden I get a text from my brother. I got them. So my dad and I made up for everything, and we got to see Fall Out Boy together at Fenway Park, and it was so special.
Awesome.
It was so fun. It was just so fun. Because I've only been to 2 concerts at Fenway, and they were both with my dad. So it's so fun.
That's so special.
Which is kind of funny because I used to work at MGM at Fenway. Well, I'm technically still hired, but I'm obviously not in Boston right now. But it's the new venue that's connected to Fenway. And, I got to see All American Rejects. I got to work that show. They're going to be at When We Were Young and 5 Seconds Summer. But then a few months later, they announced the second leg. I honestly think it was like a month or 2 after the first leg ended. And they were doing a bunch of random cities. But it was like the beginning of my spring break. So I was like, this is like perfect. And it was just so fun. And I walked in and I had like coworkers screaming after me like, oh, look who got the day off. Because yeah, I go all out for pop punk shows. Like I had the fishnets, I had my sparkly skirt, I had my Fall Out Boy shirt on. It was actually my roommate's because the one that I was gonna wear to the show is missing. I know it's at my house.
To this day?
Yes. My mom claims that it's not there, but I have not worn it since the August show. But I also had my Fall Out Boy crew neck on, and if you guys know me, my signature is, which I also talk about in the Stay Chance Get Ready With Me, my signature, I talk about this exact same thing. My signature thing is my black eyeliner, like always, but it's more defined and like more out there when it's a pop punk show. So, and like I add the black eyeshadow under too. If I do it wrong, sometimes I look like a raccoon, but it's okay.
Oh no.
I was just so much fun.
Raccoon.
Yeah. And we were like in the VIP entrance because we got the Chase Lounge because Haley thankfully has a Chase card, and we did like the photo booth together, and it was so frustrating because they had a poster in the lounge of all of the openers because they had different openers for different legs of the tour. And the main was the opener for the other part of the tour. It was I'm so sad. But yeah. It was so much fun. And also for the Fenway show, the opener is from my county. 4 Year Strong is from Worcester. So I'm also seeing them again twice. They have they're going on tour with A Day to Remember, and I'm going to both New Jersey dates. And yeah, I think they're also going to When We Were Young, probably. But yeah, and actually one of the openers, well, Jimmy Eat World was an opener they'll also be at When We Were Young, I'm pretty sure. They were super fun. And then another opener was Games We Play, which I also just went to go see again. It was super fun. And I got to hang out with everyone after the show, and like Hoodie Allen like showed up and like came on stage, which I've seen Hoodie Allen twice, but it was not, neither of them were at Hoodie Allen shows.
That's so funny.
It was for another pop punk show. It was for the home team and Don Broco. That, like, it was so funny. But I even told him that after, because I was talking to him after the show. And I'm like, I found out who you were because you had, when Max, shout out Max, like my favorite human ever.
We love
he released Gibberish with Hoodie Allen. And
oh my gosh,
that's how I found out who he was. But yeah, so Fall Out Boy, I just love Fall Out Boy. Point blank period. I just love Fall Out Boy. Like, I love them. Oh, and going back to, yeah, I was thinking about pop punk and they're like good openers. So, as we mentioned previously, I'm going to see Blink-182 and Pierce the Veil, which that one's going to be so fun. They announced the openers. Jaden is going to be doing the ones in Florida, but not the ones near me. And I'm driving me crazy, but obviously he can't do the ones that I'm going to because that's during his tour. But I'm pretty sure that, yes, the opener for mine, as we mentioned previously, is going to be Landon Barker. But there's so many tours, and everyone's always touring together, and it's like so overwhelming. Because another artist that I saw at Sad Summer Fest, they went on the Somerset. We love them. They went on tour with State Champs, that Halloween show with Boys Like Girls, and the opener for that was Lolo, who is opening for the Jaden tour.
Yes.
So
okay. I was
everyone is all connected. And I also saw
wild.
Lolo at that same Sad Summer Fest. So I'm like, this show is Sad Summer 2022. Just like, I'm so excited to see her again.
Oh, that's awesome.
She's so talented, and this tour is just gonna be crazy. But everyone's always touring together. And another artist, if you know me, I love the band Grayscale. I talk about them all the time. The first time I saw them was when they opened for the Somerset. And then I saw them 3 times opening for All Time Low, which they are also on. All Time Low is also going to be on the Greatest Hits tour with Avril, but on the West Coast states, because they're doing like a kind of like an anniversary tour type thing. Right around the same time she's touring, which, surprise, surprise, I'll also be there. It's the same week as Avril.
Oh my goodness.
This summer is freaking crazy. This summer is crazy. And I don't even think I mentioned this, but if you can't tell by the background, you've seen my Massachusetts background once, but clearly this is not that. Allie is not in Massachusetts. She's staying in New York. So
yeah.
I'm so I
know. It sounds like you've got a busy summer coming up.
It's very pop punk filled. What a surprise. And I'm just, oh my god. I'm just so excited. And I'm just so excited.
Good.
And things keep getting announced. Like, it's just not over.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. But I think that is all the time that we have for today. I have had a lot of fun hearing you talk about your favorites in pop punk. Obviously, you brought up a couple others, which is really fun. So TGL Squad, be sure to stay tuned as we gear up for the final episodes of season 1. And you can follow all of our socials for the latest updates. Allie, let them have it, girl.
My favorite part. So we are on Instagram at TGL Pod and also at Setlist Media. And on Setlist Media, on X, formerly Twitter, and on TikTok. And you're either on our YouTube or Spotify right now, same name, everything Setlist Media. And then, yeah, see you guys next time. I'm so excited that we got to do this finally. I've been waiting for this one. Just like the Broadway one, I had been waiting for months for this one. I'm so happy.
Good. Yes, I'm so glad that we got to do this episode for your birthday month. So yeah, definitely special shout out to all of our friends listening on Spotify. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. All right, guys, we will see you next time. We will not be breaking until the end of the season again. So we will see you in June and we will see you in July. Bye.
Bye.